you come from. People die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Hey, tell us about your kind of songs. What's your objective?
Just to enlighten the people's mind, and to remind them of where we've been and where we are and where we need to go. There's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Hey, tell us about your kind of songs. What's your objective?
Just to enlighten the people's mind, and to remind them of where we've been and where we are and where we need to go. There's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man,
Hosted by Damian Phillips. It's informative, provocative, and unconventional. Hosted by Damian Phillips. Lifestyle.
We need our spirit-filled preachers to teach us right from wrong. We need our old-fashioned seekers who'll pray all night long. We need some good gospel singing to help us go another mile. The church will triumph, and go home in a little while. It'll be worth it after all, child. It'll be worth it after all. After all of these trials, we'll hear Jesus call. It'll be worth it after all, child. It'll be worth it after all. After all of this climbing, it'll be worth it after all.
Let me say good evening and welcome, Pastor Moore.
When you're down in the valley, prayer is all I can do.
I just say pull up. We're not pulling. It's not. It's Tonette say pull up. Oh, I just say pull up.
Still live.
Good evening, Pastor. You hearing me?
Loud and clear, sir. Good evening. Thank
Good
you for
evening.
having me.
Thanks for joining.
Now if you're up on the mountain and see me struggling along, lift my name up to Jesus.
Let me say welcome to each and everyone. Tonight is a big topic. And I am banned from Facebook for 3 days.
It'll be worth it after all.
So
It'll be worth it after.
it will be worth it after. I think maybe after what we'll be talking about tonight, anyway, maybe Facebook would have suppressed the feed anyways, and things. So what I'm going to do, we're still live on Instagram, by the way. We're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitter. So it's not that we are not streaming anywhere. It's not that we're not streaming anywhere. We are still streaming. So yeah. But the Facebook audience, I sent out some message to let them know that they should come over here, which I've been telling people over and over that where we need to go is Lifestyle TV YouTube page, because Facebook, they can do anything they want to do when they want to do it. We still have some faith in YouTube, although YouTube also have the right to do whatever they want to do. So, person would have known by now that I have been trying fire from a couple of weeks ago when Argentina legalized abortion, and the member of parliament, Juliette Cuthbert-Flynn, she revived, she was re-energized to make her call for Jamaica to follow suit and legalize abortion. I think in the region of the Caribbean, Jamaica is one of the only country that still have a broad, and let me put it into category. It's not like abortion does not take place in Jamaica. They are legal abortions. So there are provisions for that. You know, I see every time I discuss this, people bring up rape and incest and what if the woman is at risk and what if the child, and all of the add circumstances, which if you follow statistics, which I understand when it doesn't suit society, they don't want to use statistics. One of them being 72% of Jamaican. The last time Dan Anderson did a poll for RGR Communication Group said that they are against abortion. 72% of Jamaicans said that. So now it's irrelevant for them because it's not going along with what they want to go with. If you check even international statistics, it's only 1% of women who seek abortion actually you say the reason is because of rape. So you know those numbers don't really add up. But so the member has revamped her call. And know what because people were at me, and I even intentionally tagged some persons to something that came out last week and asked the person, it was a male, if he's agreeing with this, and he said no and just left it. But this is a brother that was telling me the week before that, listen, it's a woman's body, she's free to do whatever she wants to do with the body, and all of that, and no man should have a right to be in a woman's womb, and all of them kind of something there. So CAPRI made a recommendation. Well, they made several recommendations. 3 stood out, but one which ended up getting big bold caption in the Gleaner: grant minors access to abortion without parental consent. CAPRI. And I was kind of giving up hope, but the way I hear some people leaking out on this, that is one. And two, another recommendation is that the parliamentarians vote in secret. So CAPRI is also suggesting that, listen, vote in secret so people who want to support this can feel comfortable supporting it, you know, and even that I think is wrong. I put out a tweet the other day and I tagged the minister in it because she's now a minister, and she responded and say, I asked her if she's in for a secret vote. No, not the secret vote. I asked her if she was in for abortion of minors without consent of parents, and she said that it was just a recommendation from CAPRI. And I said something else, and she says she's not in no back and forth with me. I should invite her for an interview. I use a channel too. She haven't responded. But I saw this post, this meme from Rosa Park, and it says, you must never be fearful about what you are doing when it's right. I actually tweet and tweet it out to the minister. You can't be saying that, no, this is a good thing, this is a right thing, but you want it to be done in secret. So all of that is the baseline that we'll be talking about. So welcome again, Pastor. How are you doing?
Giving thanks, sir. Wonderful, man.
And let me say thank you very much for being here. I know that you're very busy, but yeah, thanks for making the time out. So,
Bless you.
Pastor, I don't know where you want to start. If you want to start with the big thing, which is the whole abortion, or you want us to zoom in straight into them saying, no, Pitney should be allowed to just go to one doctor, one nurse, and say, you know what, I'm pregnant and I don't want this child. Where are we starting?
Why? I think we should start with prayer.
I mean, it's up to you, sir. Not a problem.
Yeah,
It's up
man.
to you.
Let's say a word of prayer.
Mhm.
Heavenly Father, may you give the directives, may you lead, and may your words go out. May you have mercy on us, and as we look at these matters, may you guide the people to understand exactly what this is all about. Have your way with us as we talk. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. And I can't recall if I ever had prayers on my show. And it's not the first pastor that's been on the show, because from Sadcom days, from Port Antonio days, this is one of the pastors that I could call on. And I say once him have time, because I think every time that he appears on my show, he makes time for it, which makes me feel special. So yes. So, all right. So prayer, we are already done prayer. So should we start on this whole thing of abortion? Because what is troubling to me, Pastor Moore, is I'm seeing it. I started hearing this maybe some 10 years ago, but it has amplified now, where even males have joined the bandwagon to say, listen, it's a woman's body. Nobody should dictate to a woman or tell a woman what to do with her body. And she should be able to choose if she wants to carry that child, yes or no. There's also the argument that says it is not a baby until it is born. And I said this to somebody the other day. So are you telling me when Boeing make a 757, it is not a plane until it goes on the runway and take off? Then it's a plane? So talk to me, Pastor.
All right, I would like to start with this. You see, we're in a world where some, I would say, dreadful stuff are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Decisions are being made to really put down what we call values then, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I thought about the matter, like any other matters, or like some other matters, I should say, I realize that we need to go back to the foundation. Now, Damien, in school, I did the business subjects, and you talk about principles of business,
Mm-hmm.
principles of accounts, but there was one called office procedure. Now, what's the difference between those? Now, and then there's also a principle of mathematics too,
Mm-hmm.
math laws, right? Now, there are subjects that falls on the principle. And the reason why they fall on the principle is because they cannot change. A corresponding debit will always, for every corresponding debit, there will always be a corresponding credit.
Credit. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you cannot redefine a man, a single man doing business. You will always be a sole trader.
Sole trader. Mm-hmm.
And you cannot really define partnership. Partnership will always be two or more.
More than one. Mm-hmm.
But for office procedure, it's a procedure because it's not backed by principle. You can decide that your receptionist need to be at the front of your business today, and next year you can decide that the receptionist must be at the back. It's procedure. Nobody can tell you what to do with your procedure.
So you can put your security up front to say, listen, worse with this COVID thing now, you do the temperature check and all of that. The first point of contact is my security. As I follow.
Procedure.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot change principle. Principles are universal laws that cannot be changed. And God's commandments are based not on procedure, not on feelings. Feelings go up and down.
Fluctuates.
But principle is a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go up nor down because it's just can't change.
Mm-hmm.
And God's commandment are based on principle,
Right.
not procedure. You understand?
Yes, I do.
And that's the foundation I'd like to set today. So it doesn't matter who in high places or low places want to divert from principle. It will be as it is. When it was, it will continue being that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, Damien, I'm a Bible person because
Yes, I do.
I believe as a pastor, I cannot apologize for what I stand by. I stand by the word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't need another textbook to look at what is right or what is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So God's word is not procedure, let me repeat. God's word and his rules, his laws and his regulations are based on principle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another point I'd like to look at before I go to the word of God. Now, you mentioned that folks will argue rape and so on and so forth and stuff. Now, you do not call your boss and say, boss, next week I'm going to have an emergency, so I won't come back. That won't be an emergency.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
You can make provision for emergencies, but you can't plan emergencies. You can plan for emergencies, but you cannot plan emergencies.
So that's why I have a spare tire on my vehicle and I check it every now and then. So if I'm driving on it, then I draw for that. But right, I get what you're saying.
Exactly. So you cannot plan emergency, but you can plan for emergency. Just like provision for bad debt, etc. Now watch this now. The reason why I say that is because emergencies are emergencies. Yeah, women have fallen down and hurt themselves. So the point I'm making, I'm not saying that we should say abortion is right because you get raped or so on. I'm saying emergencies are not enough to make laws on. Emergency doesn't need a law in the country to dictate it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I like that. I look at it like that, but makes sense.
Yeah, you do not need emergency cases to make laws. You follow me?
Yes.
It is okay to murder a man if it's an emergency. Man, every murderer gonna go to a court and say emergency, judge, emergency. You can't make law based on emergency. Emergencies are emergencies.
Right.
So I'd like to set those points as foundation. Do not make decision for your life based on feelings. Look at another point, Damien. When I'm counseling folks for marriage, I tell them, listen, don't let the lower part of you make the decision.
That's
Keep
below
the higher part. This is what God work with. God work with the reasoning. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. So, so with that set now, let me set some foundation here. Exodus 20, it is verse 13 that says, thou shalt not kill. And allow me a few minutes to go into the Bible, Dave.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not kill. And then when I look at that, there is a man in Genesis. There's a man in Genesis chapter 37 that did not wish to, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you the right thing. Let me just go there. Okay, I'm sorry. 38, Genesis chapter 38. A gentleman who did not want to bear children by his brother. His brother died. He was told to go into his brother's wife and their seed after his name, so that his name doesn't perish out of the land.
That's the one where he
And
spilled his.
because of, yes, he spilled the seed, and because he spilled the seed, the Bible says the thing which he did, Genesis 38, verse 10, displeased the Lord, wherefore the Lord slew him. The sperm is what he spilled. And it displeased God, and the Lord slew him. Now, Bible principle demands that you do not defend anything based on one text.
It must have backative.
Right. So text must back up text. So that's why I always like to look at several verses before I make a decision, because people could reason, but this not have to be because him spill the seed God destroy him. It could be because him selfish, or whatever be the case. And people can reason then. People can reason deep into it. But we're looking at Bible principle, and we're using witnesses from Bible to text to answer the matter. Okay. So then I jump to prophet named Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. And it tells me, Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 tells me, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. Do you know, Damien, that even while the sperm is on its way to find the embryo, it is sanctioned by God to be the pastor, the doctor, the talk show host, the teacher? Who are you destroying?
And then, not to cut you off, Pastor, but even that, the biology that you spoke about, I mentioned this couple of Sundays ago on my show, the way it works, we are even chosen from then, because when a man ejaculates, there are several sperms that swim toward the egg. And unless you're twin, sometimes you end up sharing an egg or whatever, you are chosen from then. That sperm to fertilize that egg.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to back up that with another Bible verse. Sir D, Psalm 139. I'm going to back up what you just said and understand why it is as it is. This is why it is as it is, right? It says, Psalm 139, verse 14, I will praise thee because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, that my soul knoweth right well. So when that sperm reaches the embryo, it sends a chemical around it that no others can get it.
Block it off.
And so you have to understand, what are you destroying? Now, let me just divert to bring you something, Damien. Principle. We need to govern our lives by principle. Are we together?
Yes.
Not feelings, principle. And the greatest principle, the only principle that you can find, comes from the word. Every laws of the land, if it is just laws, if they are just laws, they come from Bible principle.
True.
If they are just laws, everyone can be found in the Bible, back to back. If they are just laws, because today there are some laws which, sad to say, we will not be able to follow them. And that's when we're going to be persecution going to turn up. But that's another argument, though. So let's look at this now. Let's look at another principle, and I want the folks to understand. I don't want to throw things on them. I want them to think deep. Okay? Condom protects you from could be pregnancy. It protects you from
STIs,
etc. But do they have a condom to protect you from emotional breakdown when the man gonna leave you because a condom was his way to live?
That deep.
Do they have a condom to protect your emotions? Do they have a condom to protect your mind? Principle. It makes sense?
Yes.
So when you're gonna tell the folks using a condom is the way to live, do you have a condom to protect their minds? when they get emotionally unstable because you have had sex with, not you, sorry, because the man have had sex with the lady, gone leave her, him no say no leave no seed behind, so she not pregnant, she not have no STI, she not have no HIV, she good to go. Is she good? Is she really good to go? Did the condom protect her emotions?
No, it
Did the
didn't.
condom protect her mind?
No, it didn't.
Exactly. So back to Bible principle. Wait until the person is rightly yours. You can't stray from it. And when we stray from it, I'm just using this example to show you that when we stray from it, from God's principles, we are really ending up in accidents. Give me a condom that can protect the emotions and protect the mind.
That one didn't make it.
And I think we all know what broken heart is like. And how devastating it can be.
Don't want to eat. Some people contemplate suicide.
Exactly. Now, Damien, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, look at abortion now. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So much so that you can have a headache and touch some point in your foot bottom and it stop the headache. Connections. You understand? Because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. When I know of so many young ladies that for years have not gotten over the reality of murdering a fetus, you may call it, of aborting a child. They have not gotten over it because they can hide the pregnancy by aborting it, but they cannot escape themselves that they commit a crime.
Pastor, there's
Yes,
a
sir.
friend of mine that she comes on my show almost regular now, and she said something, and the very first time I heard it resonated, and she repeated it on my show several times. She said, listen, those of you, and I don't want us to think, because people tend to do that, we are including the males as well. So it's not just the woman. So this is her line. I don't know if she got it from her or whatever, so I can't give no credit to nobody other. But she said, when abortion takes place, is not that you're not parents. The only thing is your children are dead.
Wow.
And I said, the first time I heard it, I said, no, that is true. Because pregnancy, you're a prospective parent, father or mother.
Exactly.
So when you do what you just mentioned a while ago, when you abort or terminate the pregnancy, you are still a parent. The only thing is you picking them dead. If it's more than one, because some people use abortion as contraceptive. Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Sorry for
Thank you very much. That's all right. So with all of that, Damien, you understand the reason why we need to go deeper than just saying abort. So, oh Lord. So Psalm 127 tells me that children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Where is the fruit? The fruit not born yet, you know?
Right.
The fruit of the womb is his reward.
Right.
It has not come true. It has not come on earth yet. It's just in the womb. And God in the womb sees it as his reward. How can you get around that? You see, it is important not to add crime to crime. You gotten caught in sexual affair. Maybe the man belonged to somebody else. Do not add crime to crime. It's like you're owing a million loans because you keep borrowing to pay back. Borrow from Tom to pay back Harry and so on and so forth.
Still in debt.
You're in the situation already. You're in the situation. You do not need to spend a lifetime being guilty over something that you don't have to do. You get what I'm saying? It already takes
And that is my issue, Pastor, because I hear even this reverend, I don't remember his name now, but I did a search on him up to Sunday because there's an article in the Gleaner, I don't know if you saw it, where he's saying, listen, the church need to back off of this abortion debate. Some major something another, them put a rank, I don't remember his name now. He's saying that the church need to back off. So we're at this place now where whosoever the powers that be, they're given the only option to say, listen, a woman is pregnant for whatever reason. Tell her abort. Why? Why that is the only option that is being given to females these days?
Isaiah 58 verse 1, Damien.
Mm-hmm.
On that question, does the church have any say in injustice? Does the church have any say in the laws of the land? Isaiah 58 verse 1 answers me, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins.
Okay.
Must we be silent? It's not time to be silent. When you're going to get to the point where you're taking the power from the parents and giving it to children, that's where you're getting to the point where that's the lowest point you can get to, because you'd have destroyed the future generation of the country. Children cannot and should not be allowed to have these rights.
And to even that, I tweet this out. I commented on it on Facebook too, and I realized nobody focusing on that. So the question I ask is, because we know in our the state that I'm in, because America have different age of consent, but Jamaica and my state share the same, which is 16. So I asked the question: will now giving that right to a child to abort without even the knowledge, because they use consent, but I am not using no consent, the knowledge of the parents, does that mean they have automatically removed the age of consent?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say automatically, I say politically.
Well, the reason I say automatic, because you know that.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just adding.
Yeah, you'd have to go through whatever procedure. But I'm saying no, if a 12-year-old can get pregnant for whatever reason and say, you know what, I don't want this child, and go to a doctor, a nurse, or whatever practitioner and say, get rid of it, then that means at 12, 13, 14, whatever age, and the age of consent would be of no purpose.
It's a sad state. And guess what? I want to look beyond, not to look beyond this, but add to this also. Remember, Damien, a couple of years ago, they took the powers from teachers, they took the powers from parents. And they call discipline abuse.
Abuse, yep.
Abuse is abuse and discipline is discipline. I remember a couple of years ago, some years ago, we looked at that when I was in Portland, right? And what you're doing now, the Bible says, woe unto you when children are rule over you. So you see what you're doing? We cannot ignore the reality that when it comes on to abortion, and it is a sad thing to want to legalize murder, but it's even worse to want to take your children from you where you don't have any say over them. They get pregnant, you cannot tell them to keep it or what to do. They do what they want to do. It's a sad point, and it's robbery of the future of any country.
Yes.
When the children have total say, they determine whether they want to learn or not. We beat teacher don't beat we.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like how you lay that out, because let's just backtrack a bit and show them, because I keep on telling people the reason why I do, and even the other day some people run up and cuss me about, oh, I only have 3 followers and thing, and I say, listen, I was rooted and grounded in the church, and I keep on saying this, pastor, I say, listen, right now where we're at, if Jesus was on earth and Satan was on earth, and both of them at Instagram, we won't have to guess and say who would have the most follower. We know who would have the most follower. So I
Many
don't
are
have
called, few are chosen.
Here we go. I don't have a problem with just having a few, because even now, see, I don't have Facebook, but the show is still going. And the good thing is it's been recorded, and then people can always go back and watch. But you mentioned something, and I have been seeing it. These people, which I think they are the ruler of darkness, they don't just drop things on us at once.
No,
It's like I don't know if I was born and raised in the market. My father used to be in the craft market. And even if a carver is going to make a nice design, he get the wood, piece of wood, where nothing out of it, and he start chipping away with the chisel and form what he wants out of it. Him not just start chop and it becomes whatever he's making. Him take him time. If he's a Rasta man with him guitar, and him chip little bit. So the first thing they did, they took away the power from the school, from the teachers, because we know a lot of us slip through the crack where home is concerned. So we normally let's back up. It's not church, it's not school first, it's church. I grew up that I had to go to Sunday school, and if it's not Sunday school, it's Sabbath school. And you had parents who, even if they weren't attending church, they pitted them did have to go to Sunday school and Sabbath school. They removed that and said all manner of evil about the church, and how the pastor themselves are molested and the whole thing. So that safety net was removed, which is the church, Sunday school.
Yes.
And then it was the school itself. And then they have chipped away from that too. And then they go to parents to say, no, if your school you're pitney, we're getting locked up. And now we're at a place, years after, they're telling our children that, listen, you can abort a child, or you should abort a child if you feel like. Give the rights to the children. See the plan of the devil? And some people won't see it, but
you're right on target there, Dave. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality, spiritual wickedness in high places. But what we need to understand also is this, you see, there is a system right now that their aim is to destroy the majority. And they believe that there are too many of us as poor people on earth. So they want the few. But deeper than that, there is a plan. You understand? Now, when you have a child without restraint, the child is born like a sponge, is what you put in his head, he will learn from. And you grow that child without restraint, because the government dictates that child must be free. No restraint, no discipline. You are crumbling the next generation.
Yes.
And when that is done, here comes total control of your country without you even knowing it.
Yes. The same people giving.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's read some of this. I don't know if I'm going to read all from the article. February 5, 2021. And if you're just joining us, let me say welcome. I have my affiliates in Massachusetts, Mad Lion Radio. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube on my page. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, it is Lifestyle TV. So what we're talking about, and have my friend Pastor Moore here talking about this proposal, this recommendation made by CAPRI that says grant minors access to abortion without parental consent. And this story I'm reading from the Gleaner, and it says there is a call for adolescents to have improved access to reproductive health services, including abortions without parents' consent. This is one of 3 recommendations made by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI, in its coming to terms, the social cost of unequal access to safe abortion report, which is co-founded by the European Union. The report also suggested that parliamentarians be allowed to cast secret votes to determine the way forward for Jamaica, as some could shy away from a particular position on the highly polarizing issue for the fear of backlash. It goes on to say it has also pitched the idea for public funding for pregnancy termination service. Pastor Moore, read some more. But talk to me upon this. It is also pitched the idea for public funding for pregnancy termination services.
It's a conspiracy, and it's a conspiracy to break us down. So much so that they themselves have a conscience that it's wrong. That's why the secret vote. Jesus said, I've done everything in open, I've done nothing in secret. And if it's right, it doesn't need to be in secret. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to gossip about my friend, I do it in secret because I know that gossiping is wrong and so on and so forth.
If you're planning to rob somebody, you do it in secret. You plan it in secret.
Exactly. So here comes a confederacy of wickedness about to come upon us. And may the people be warned. May the people, my plea is that the people will not look to the feelings and the vain so-called realities, but look deep to the principle and look at everything. Look at the case in all way, because this is not just a situation about abortion from 10, 20 years ago. This is a situation where abortion is used to rob us of dignity, rob us of our own children. Remember, your children are the future.
Yes.
You cannot have children becoming successful men and women of society without being restrained. And if you're going to give them, first you take church from them and tell them it's their freedom. Then you take discipline from them. You can't have discipline without education. And now you're giving them freedom to become prostitutes, children prostitutes.
Yes. So, and the part I want to hear specifically saying that this should be done by public funding, as in taxpayer money. That's what that means. Public funding, taxpayer money should terminate the pregnancy.
Well, Damien, you pushed me into prophecy. And I think I look at this with you already. But we need to understand. We don't need to beat around the bush. We need to understand that right now, there is wickedness in high places where this is all a part of a plan to introduce what you know as the New World Order. New World Order, National Sunday Law, Mark of the Beast. It's all a plan. So they're taking away every right from you. They're using emotions to take the rights from you. And by the time you look, you have no right. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. And this happened the other day, the first time it came up. And I don't want to say too much, but I saw the publication and I saw somebody commented on it and say, some of these people need to shut up, because if they find themselves in certain situations, themselves will be begging for an abortion. So I responded. Well, man, Pastor, I responded to the individual and I say, please, I'm begging you, give me one example that a woman will find herself in that she needs to beg for abortion. And somebody that is affiliated with the person came at me and say, somebody like me who is in, and I realize people use this, do a kind of shaming kind of thing. Somebody like you who is very, whatever the term them did use, I think you would be giving more empathy towards, because women go through a lot. And I'm like, hold on. So you want me to sanction murder? You want me to condone a murder? Because you refer to it, and even before coming on the show, I had this discussion with my wife. And I said, listen, this thing will start at the top of the show. Every time I discuss this, people say, what about, even last couple of weeks, I go call name now, if me wrong, correct me. Tonette say, she don't, and she was sharing her opinion, her feeling. She said, she don't think she would actually feel comfortable bringing a child in this world that came from rape. And I have to give anybody, your feeling is your feeling, which pastor say, don't make laws based on feelings and emotion. So back to what happened on that post now, what I deduce from that is those two people, maybe they have reason to do whatever they did. And I always say, I'm not condemning anybody, because if a woman even watching right now who have committed the abortion, I can't do nothing to change that. She have to talk to her God. I think I have a mandate that the little that I know and people who I know more than me, I'm going to invite them, I'm going to talk. And the scripture, I need you to send that to my WhatsApp about remaining silent and quiet. because more use that for put out there for say no. We cannot just sit by and know what is right and not allow people to use emotions and use because even Juliet Cuthbert herself, she after moving the private motion then the administration prior to 20 whichever year that was last year election, she actually shared her reason of why she did an abortion, which I think that even softened up more people to come out and be sympathetic. But I'm like, I'm not called to be sympathetic or empathetic because now we're talking about the future. We're talking about, and that's what we're discussing tonight, we're talking about CAPRI saying allow minors underage, so not just any woman who them living them whatever lifestyle and get caught, any age to just abort because you feel like it is a plan. It is a
Exactly.
plan.
I want to read some verses, Damien, but look at this. There are over 2,000 children who cannot get the principle that 10 plus 10 equal 20. And they are being shamed and embarrassed. Let's change 10 plus 10 to 19. You get the point?
So because they're not getting it, let's alter it. Let's change it to what will make more sense to them to grasp. Yeah.
But it's deeper than that. We have to open our eyes when our children are attacked these ways, because it's attack. The children are attacked,
Of course, it's attack.
The children are attacked. When our children are attacked like this, because children 12, 13, 14 cannot be allowed these powers.
And it's difficult already for parents to say abstain. So now when a smart 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old say, but hold on, I can abort. If I get pregnant, I can just get rid of it. And mommy not have to know nothing. Isn't that taking away the discipline, as you say? So I am a parent now and I have my well, I wanted to say thank God my son is, but no. if my child was a girl, I would still love her and all of that. But yeah, so you have a 13, 14-year-old and you're already struggling to say, listen, I want you to focus on your books. You don't need to be partaking in sex right now and all of that. And then, but the society, because I'm sure if and when this pass, you're going to hear the advertisement on radio. And you're going to hear the discussion and all of that. To say you can seek, as the fancy term them use about what the term them use? About accessing equal access to safe about no, that's not the term them use. I want to find the exact term. So the call for adolescent to improve access to reproductive health. That is the term, the nice fancy term, reproductive health, which they mean about. How a parent is going to cope with this? Pastor?
Take off the P of help. You get me? Or take off the T.
And replace that P with another L?
Exactly. Let's go somewhere, Damien. I need the folks to it's deeper than abortion. It is so abortion is so wrong that the people in high places are allowed to vote secretly. That alone tells me that they know
something is wrong about it.
They know something is wrong.
Yes.
So we could stay here for the hour debating this, but I want to go deeper than that. Let's look at the root of this, okay?
Go ahead.
Did the paper say they're allowed to vote in secret?
Well, actually, what we're discussing now, and let me be fair to CAPRI, and even the minister pointed this out to me, that these are recommendations. So it's not like
so I'll use the
already
thing. So the recommendation is for folks, is for the politicians to be allowed, our leaders, whoever, to be allowed to vote secretly.
Politicians, parliamentarians.
Watch this, Damien. Bible, Revelation 17. Revelation 17 deals with the mystery of the great abomination that is about to come upon this earth, that is already upon this earth, okay? All right. This is what the Bible call it. It calls it full of abomination and filthiness. That's what the Bible calls it. And listen how they do it. Then I'm going to take you down to verse 13. Verse 12 and 13 says, the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Horn represent king and power. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
So they represent leaders of the country. Watch this. And which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as king 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, and they will war against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. The Lamb, Jesus Christ, is in heaven. How do you war against him? By those who follow him. All right? So get ready for some abominable things that you have never seen or dreamt of before. And it is happened, my Bible tells me that it is happened by those in high places who have brought their minds together.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, the Lord is showing me another verse. Amen. Hold a minute for me. So they have brought their minds together to shut down this world.
And that is the
How
secret.
are they doing it? How are they doing it? Verse 1 tells you, and there came one of the 7 angels which have the 7 vials, because after this I must judgment. The 7 vials come up hither, and I'll shew thee the judgment of the great whore that sit up upon many waters. Whore represent church. Woman represent church in prophecy. So when she becomes a prostitute, that means she have gone to more than one man. So there's a church that is working with the men, the leaders of the world, to speak, to do things against God. So
Prophecy.
yes, Damien, the root of this is a church, and studies from the Bible shows that it's a Roman Catholic system.
Yes, I know
All
that.
right. So follow me carefully now. When John was called to look at what is taking place, the abomination and the wickedness of and all of those things, John, verse 3, was carried away by the Spirit into the wilderness. You know what that reminds me of, Damien?
Tell me.
That reminds me that that the recommendation is made that the leaders or the politicians can vote secretly. It was when John was led into the wilderness, he saw the wickedness and the abominable stuff that they are carrying out. And how did I get down this road, listeners? Let me remind you, I get down on this point because it's more than abortion. It's more than having our children participate freely in abortion without consent of their parents. It is more than that. It is a big conspiracy of the leaders of our countries. I want to show you something else, Damien, because when I speak, it must be confirmed by the word. I don't want to speak based on what it looks like or what it feels like, but I want to speak based on what the word
That's why I
says.
have that
Listen to
guess,
this.
because all I do is just talk what I feel like. So go ahead.
Listen to this one. This is Daniel. The book of Daniel deals with last day events. Okay? Don't miss this one, Damien. Daniel 8, verse 25. And through his policy, we have a one government coming soon called New World Order.
Yes, man.
One man gonna rule the whole world. It's coming soon. Listen to this now. Through his policy, he shall cause craft. Craft is trickery.
Yes.
To prosper. So the politicians will make the policies that will cause craftiness,
No
dirty
referendum.
stuff.
No referendum.
To prosper. All right?
And
he shall
burn me if you say this. Hold on. Me, you have your, but sorry to interject, but I told people this. You see the same line of argument that they're using now with this abortion thing? If and when it goes through, the next is same-sex marriage right behind it. Because it's the same human rights and they're infringing on your constitution. Go ahead, Pastor. I just had to throw that in. Go ahead.
I'm happy you brought that up because let me just finish the text. They will cause craft to prosper by making laws. That's what the politicians do. They make laws. Not true?
Yes.
All right. Don't forget Daniel 8, verse 25, Damien. And by peace. This one like me for 6 bully per time. Even though by peace, I'm reading Daniel 8, verse 25. By peace, they shall destroy many. By peace.
Not by war.
Peace.
By peace.
Not by war.
Wow.
So you're giving children freedom to sin. So children, you're free. Eat all the sugar you want to eat. And then I'm going to stand aside because I don't like those children. So I'm going to stand aside, let them eat all the sugar they want to eat. I'm hoping they'll be diabetic and die. What kind of freedom is that for the children? But by peace, this system nowadays, where already, Damien, already every leader of countries have to be bowing to this system. If you're not bowing to this system and listening to this system, you will soon be out, whether by death or by conspiracy. A death over there. Sorry, that's where we are.
I see.
Okay,
That is why. Wrong with Pato.
That is why Facebook can suspend man like you. Where is the free speech that they advocate?
True. I question that all the time.
We have to wake up. This is more than abortion, my friends. Abortion is one of the dirty part of it and the insulting part, especially when you're going to tell children you have freedom to abort a child without the consent of you. Abortion is wrong. It is murder, and if the sperm is released, it is alive. It is a live thing going in the Bible. I just cleared that from the Bible, but we have to look beyond this. We have to let you know that it is more than this. This is just a staircase. Abortion is one of the stairs going up to the greatest wickedness that is coming.
Let me shed some more light. Go ahead.
One second there. You mentioned same-sex marriage. They already have textbook telling you that you're not either male or female. They're about 7 different genders or something.
Binary. Yep, I hear about them.
They already have those going, right? But it doesn't matter what they do. Principle doesn't change.
True.
But get deep to understand that it's closing time now, and these wicked men have come together to lock down things.
And men represent men.
They're merely puppets now. They're merely puppets.
Puppet on a string. So guys, if you're just joining us, we're at the end. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 and 9 seconds remaining in the show. With me this evening is Pastor Moore. We're looking at this proposal, this recommendation from CAPRI, suggesting that guess what? Grant minors access to abortions without parental consent. And I'm still taken aback to see how brave and how emboldened these people are. You know, I grew up hearing that Jamaica is a God-fearing country, and how can you bring this? And the people are bold with it. I hear a doctor, I don't remember her name, maybe the article is going to state it, that she's the mouthpiece for it. She's the one. So I start reading, so let me get some more into it. Where did I reach? Backlash. So they're saying that they should vote in secret to prevent the backlash. So obviously they must say something wrong. It seems like, you know, when me used to teeth out my mother milk out of the tin or the Milo, you know, some in a wash, you know, some try to clean up if anything drop. That's what I get from that. So in 2018, St. Andrew West Rural Member of Parliament, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, tabled a parliamentary motion on the issue, which it was a private motion, calling for the state to make safe abortion available for Jamaican women. Complications from unsafe abortion is the third leading cause of maternal deaths in the island. The CAPRI reports underscored that the recommendations were made acknowledging the raft of pre-existing sustained and repeated calls for improving women's access to contraception and empowering, this is a word when me or them use all them, I read, you know, empowering women to exercise their autonomy to use contraception and is to not have sex against their will, among other considerations. In a web forum yesterday, Dr. This is her name, look out feed people, Lean Lever, I don't know if I pronounced that right, CAPRI's Director of Advocacy, presented the main finding of the research, noting that up to up to, listen to this figure, people, because I said it the other day and some people challenging me. I did not pick it out of the sky. Up to 22,000 abortion, and they have unsafe in front of that, takes place in the island each year. All them know say it's unsafe and it take place in that. Anyway, and listen, another keyword, poorer. So now they're looking, it's in peace, you know. They come to poor people in peace to give them abortion for them and them children. Listen, poorer Jamaican women, their unwanted children suffer a range of complications and consequences as a result of denial of access to safe abortions, including loss of access to education, poorer mental health, and in some cases death. Lavin said. I have to read some more and then the benefits, because they have range of benefits here. So they're giving us the benefits of having minors aborting. But let me read this line, then we'll go to that. In 2019, roughly 13% of all births occurred to teenage mothers, and the number of adolescent pregnancy terminated each year in Jamaica could be as high as 5,000. Range of benefits, and I'm reading from the Gleaner, people. Given that up to 43% of complications in early pregnancy may be due to attempted termination of pregnancy, the cost to Jamaican public health system at large, read as section of the report. CAPRI posited the introduction legal and safe abortion as a range of benefits, such as increased access to education, greater human capability, and crime reduction. During the panel discussion, and I'm not even going to, no, see the name here. I don't know if you know this name. See him here? Him come up. During the panel discussion, Father Sean Major Campbell affirmed support for safe access to abortion and called on legislators to do their work and be the first defender of human rights for the people of Jamaica. This is an Anglican Reverend Father, man. Yes. But when you just Google search him, man, all of the controversy stuff them he represents. So, Pastor, I don't know if you heard those two, or pick out those keywords too. You know, the poor is one of them. And I announced that I'm going to do a show. I have about three volunteers already. I'm going to do a show with teenage mothers, women who have gotten pregnant and have brought their children, and I'm quite comfortable now, living them life and all of that. So what CAPRI is saying, one of the benefits from allowing minors to abort is to give them better education, mental health, and to reduce crime. So hold on, is poor people picking alone going to crime? I wonder if people are really listening to them some here. Pastor, floor is yours. You there? I'm not hearing you. Did you mute your mic? I'm not hearing you, Pastor. Oh, I need to add you to the screen. Okay. You there now?
Yeah, man,
right.
thanks.
You jumped out. Reading, you jumped out. Okay, I see what happened.
Yeah, man, I heard the reading. That's all right. Let me just throw a few points out, okay? And I want to end with the best one. Number one, Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, saith the Lord. Woe unto the pastor that lead my people astray. People, it's not about what pastor says. It's about what God says.
Right.
Not because I'm a pastor, mean that I have to be telling you the truth. And that's why I hardly speak without the word. Let the word be the guide.
Yes.
Right? Because if the devil can come as an angel of light, his followers can also come as demons in pastoral clothing. Anybody that strays from the plain, thus said the Lord, is not wearing their ministerial garment with truth and honesty. The next point I want to look at, for persons who have maybe listening to this program and have done abortion, God is able to forgive. God is able to set you free. There is, and maybe that's the point I wanted to say last, but I remember the second one now, Damien. There is no way you can go through abortion, especially as a child, and end up right up here. You're going to be bothered for years. Anytime you hear a baby cry, you're gonna wish it was. You're gonna see it in your dream. It's gonna torment you. You cannot put abortion with mental health. That's mental ill health. It can't go together, right? They don't go together. So, parents, hold to your children, start teaching them, because it's obvious that based on policies, you're losing them to the world, to the leaders themselves that you're put to watch over.
Well said.
The Lord
Well,
be with us.
well said. I said, I like this. There's a synergy because I was going to ask you to talk to, and I know I got in some deep debate with some people, and the same word about compassion. And again, I say, listen, if somebody already come, because I seen every day. I am not perfect, and even that people point out to me and say, yes, but I learned that there are sins of omission and sins of commission. So
Exactly.
when they work on the brain to say, listen, put it in the psyche. So now there are 10-year-olds who hopefully they're not sexually exposed, but guess what? Them a get it in a them head already. Say, listen, you can't go dash with the pitney. You can't get an abortion. So now 3-4 years from now, what will refrain them or help as that guard against getting into this? So I'm not talking about people who do whatever already, because you must know why you did what. And as Pastor said, there is forgiveness for everybody. But I think some people can say from the trauma, from not having that edge in them head to say, you know what, I have an excuse. You know what I mean? I say, oh, I can do this because I can always do that to cover it up. I can do this because there is that. And that is what they're given. And the word Pastor use in peace, that is going to stay with me. Because there are people who think this is the best thing that ever happened to me because they're free of this now. This is help for me. This one. I know people, Pastor, and you must have known women who they got pregnant as a teenager. And
Exactly.
maybe
Lots,
even family member tell them that they need to. I've several women told me that, listen, they not even didn't know what did happen to them. Them just sick and go doctor and when them thing, and then the doctor tell the family member, say, oh, it's too late. The pregnancy is too advanced. Because I heard that there are doctors in Jamaica who they won't do nothing past 12 weeks. So that there's this unwritten thing going on now. So anytime between 0 and 12, there are doctors who will comfortable do the procedure. But anything after that, I don't know if it's their conscience or what it is, but they have like their level, their meter that say past 12 weeks, it's definitely a no-no. There are some states in America that has also voted on that to say it can be done within 0 to 12, but after 12, no, you should not get it. But there are people who think this is the best thing that happened to me. I have
God's
power
meter is
over me.
yeah, I'm sorry, Damien. God's meter is once the sperm is released.
So what do we do, Pastor? Because me feel like me I do what me have to do, but what do we do as a nation, as a people?
Cry aloud, spare not. We have to do what we have to do. We have to cry aloud. And I'm very appreciative of programs like these because once it comes from the pastor or once it comes from the leader or the politician, it's good. And they're raping the minds and the emotions of the people.
Yes.
And folks like us will not go down well, but our duty is to cry aloud. There's a crown that awaits us, and we have to share it. I might be talking to somebody who might have an audience of 10,000 persons tomorrow, who is converted on this and say, listen to me, you are correct. You understand? We need to do our part, right? We need to cry aloud. As Isaiah 58 verse 1 is the text. We cannot be silent at this time, right? We have to cry aloud, spare not, and show the people what is going on. It's conspiracy all over, and that's why we are called. And you see, Damien, let me tell you this: when you're at the beach, it's easy, and in the water at the sea, it's easy to go with the flow, the current,
the tide.
Yeah, just easy to go with the tides. But when you turn against it now, That's when you feel the pushback and you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that's where we are today. But fighting against the norm which has gone wrong, it's better. It's the thing to do. It's better to stand alone saying righteousness than to stand with a crowd in unrighteousness.
And Pastor, we're wrapping up, but let me actually say why I got banned from Facebook for 3 days. So this woman made a post and it mentioned a celebrity, which I won't call her name right now. And the post was saying they're criticizing this woman from not being able to keep a man, but the woman responded, the celebrity responded and say, "Who said I wanted to keep them anyway?" And I commented and I say, "Is only a prostitute would actually say something like that or sanction something like that." And even today, I was at work and the amount of women that came at me. One told me last night, because I was looking at it at my show last night. One told me last night that my wife, and she did like them say throw shade. She commented and said, "My wife is submissive and my wife cook for me." And I'm like, that is a bad thing? I am a married man and a woman is coming at me with shade, as they call it, to say my wife is submissive. And then she used the term to say, "Oh, modern day women are now emancipated. So they're free to do whatever they want to do with their body." Come to where just a while ago. And I said this couple of years ago, Pastor, you see, any day, any day, I come on my platform and I know that I have in like all 5,000-10,000 viewers per night. That means I'm doing something wrong. That means I've changed. That means I have no morals. Because that is what people will gravitate to. That is what they want to hear. That is what people connect with, those kind of things. So as long as I'm good. Facebook can block me all them want. So even Facebook is a part of it. Facebook don't want that message to go out, because even my wife was saying this evening, but I've heard some nastiness, straight up nastiness on Facebook, and them people, they don't get blocked because they're doing what them people they want them to do. But once you swim against the tide, so yeah, I'm good. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Let's go against the tide, because it's a sad state out there.
Very.
And I'm happy for the opportunity for reasoning tonight, because I know it's more than abortion. It's a step. The abortion is just one of the steps, especially on the children. Yeah, but
it's a wrong on the ladder. They're climbing, it's a wrong on the ladder. It's just one of the wrongs. Yep.
Exactly. And the end is near, weekends.
Yeah. Thanks again, Pastor.
God bless, man.
Always look forward to chat with you. And people, listen, Pastor, my brethren, we was some reason when nobody else not here but just me and him. And it's not yesterday it started. It's way back when. Like I say, even on Satcom cable, he's one of the few, pastors that I could call and say, I have something I want to discuss, and you will make the time. So once again, you have done it and I appreciate it. And just keep on doing what you're doing. Continue praying for me, because I feel it. I know that you're one of the people that will always pray for me. So thanks. Say hi to your wife and the family for me, Pastor.
Blessings, man. Blessings.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Take care.
So the word have to go out, and let me just finish up with the article, people. And like I say, I know there are people who say, no, abortion, not the woman body, but like when them go to the children, that they just rub me wrong. And like I say, them have the mission. So I'm going to continue, I should say, with this part that the Reverend Father is made mention of. So they say here, during the panel discussion, he's a father, Father Sean Major Campbell affirmed support for access to abortions and call on the legislators to do their work and, quote, be the first defenders of human rights for the people of Jamaica. How do those two go together? How this Reverend Father Reverend, whatever them call it, saying the politicians should go in secret and vote to legalize abortion for our children without the consent of their parents, and this is their first defense for human rights? I don't get it. Where human rights come? Where humans come from? No pregnancy. So what human rights? He found the support in senior medical officer at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, Dr. Garth McDonald, who shared that when some of the life-threatening complications arise, they place a significant burden on the already burdened health system. Quote, women should be given the opportunity to have the choice And the state should provide for women who are unable to afford and access such safe abortions, so that we don't find women mutilating themselves and their unborn fetuses, the medical doctor added. Meanwhile, Cuthbert Flynn, the junior health minister, said abortion is a serious public health matter, and it's serious, so let's give it to our children, right? Health matter, and creating safe access could reduce the country's maternal mortality rate. Yep. So they're blaming the maternal mortality rate on abortions. So let's do more safe abortion, as they put it. And there's no such thing as safe abortion, because the only purpose for abortion is to kill. That is what it's meant for. Kill the child. So it's safe. Quote, the mortality issue, I think, is the main reason why we are still here. I think the church has played a role in that, and I think this is attack on the church, from the junior minister, So she's calling out the church. I think the church has played a role in that, and I think that for that reason, we have not been able to move from as far back as 1975. And I want to glad that abortion wasn't around, this prevalent in 1975, because 5 years after that, Damien May, my mother Buddha did just take the option, since it's, free and everybody can access it. Yep. Thank you, Lola, for not aborting me, not even thinking about it. She said, lamenting the slow progress Jamaica was making to legalize abortion. The MP also suggested that a more comprehensive approach to be taken towards sex education in school, imparting more than lessons and abstinence. And I agree. Very sober point. And people would not follow me, know that me say. Me not just cuss people and beat people. I am here to say, listen, let us teach the youths what them need to know. I don't think we should be given children the autonomy to say, go and abort, which skip the whole thing of not having sex. So after sex is what? Camille mentioned this last week. All of us know, even a little 6-year-old, 7-year-old knows, say, listen, pregnancy take place when you have sex. Even if them don't know how it really works, they know that. Right? And as Pastor said, and as Itonet said here earlier, that health-wise could cause abortion too. Yes, and please do not mistake, I saw people doing this the other day, do not mistake a miscarriage with abortion. There are people using the two terms in what you call it now, interchangeably. No, they're not. They're not. And go and look it up. I don't want to go into all of that now. But you have people who, they say, oh yeah, the miscarriage. No. You have people who do abortion. That is not a miscarriage. Abortion is abortion. Right? So yeah, teach the children them what they need to learn. Teach them safe responsibility about their bodies. Don't tell them that, no, it's your body. You're free to do what you want to do. Nope. I cannot agree with that. Let me read a couple of the comments. It's what? 18 minutes past 10 o'clock. It is lifestyle. If you're watching on Instagram, you can comment. I'll read your comment. If you're watching on we're not on Facebook tonight. Facebook banned me. But we're on Lifestyle TV. Please, people, go and like my channel, so we don't have to be missing out on anything. Lifestyle TV, that's all you need to search for. So I was reading about the CAPRI suggestion that the government should legalize abortion, and not only that, but they should have taxpayer paying for minors aborting. That is what I was discussing tonight. Thanks again to Pastor Moore for being my special guest. So I read the article. Now let me get a couple of the comments, and we'll just run it off at 1/2 the hour. All right. So this comment say, if my child have an abortion without my consent, the doctor and the government can have her. That means she's her own woman, doesn't need my support. She is independent of me, and therefore she can do as she wish. You people are looking at so-called developed countries and their policies and driving down ours. As it seems, we have a people, as it seems, we as a people cannot think for ourselves, nor make decisions for ourselves. Can you believe it? The same people who once told me I'm from a monkey or that I'm inferior, etc., are also now telling me what to do, and their words represents God. My daughter can do My daughter can't do that. Law or no law. The law would have to take her. Not even healthcare government can grant her. Not even healthcare government can grant her. Yo, lady, me like you. Yeah. Me like her. Come out strong, how you mean, and talk the things them. And let me tell you even something with that too. Because I know of this years ago. I mentioned it last night. I'm going to mention it again. I started traveling to the States some 21 years ago. And I found out that if you're under 18, you cannot just walk up at the mall and get know part of your pierce or tattoo. You have to have an adult giving consent, sign that consent form. But guess what? You don't need that to abort. Something else that I've learned over the years. These pro-choice people have set up their abortion clinics mainly, easily, in the ghetto areas. So anywhere in America that you find what them call ghetto, there are a lot of places there that you can go to abort a child. So I guess them see poor people as some cockroach. So them just want to get rid of us. You know, look how much people, no, people, I could tell the truth. Look how much poor people. Me sure say you see and both parents never rich. Me not have to ask Christ. Me sure them never rich. I know you saying name is one of the biggest in the world. When you talk about, yeah. Look at Barack Obama. Barack Obama wasn't born in wedlock. No, he wasn't. Go and do your research if you don't believe me. His father is from Kenya and his mother is from Hawaii. And Barack ended up coming on to be the president of the first black president of America. And I'm emphasizing the first because we may soon see a second black president and making history to as a woman. Let's see how that plays out. Right? And every time when people rub me wrong way with this discussion, I always say, and this is this carnal side of me, all of these people who push abortion and all of these things, I wish for them parents to do it. So I wouldn't have to be arguing with them. Yeah. And like I said, that is the carnal side of me. Don't pay that too much attention. Yeah. These people pushing to say, yes. And no, man. Mm-mm. Nope. My thing is, you don't want to have a child, don't have sex then. Yeah. Don't have sex. Because we know that come about. Or if you're going to have sex, do it responsible. Why that is not the main thing that Juliet Cuthbert is pushing? Why that is not the main thing to say, listen, let's get our children. Because my police friend that was on the other night, I remember having a discussion with him on SATCOM in Port Antonio. And he said that, listen, in the era where it's from is in Kingston. Was it him or another one? I'm not sure. But this officer was from Maxfield. I remember the name. And him saying he was talking to this 15, 16-year-old girl just turned 16. And she said she thinks she's ready for breed now. And him said, you mean you're ready for breed? She said, yeah, me want something for send her shop too. All she saw of her life was that she was there to go to be the sent out, SOB. Yeah. Just be sent out. So she want to change that now. So what was the teaching that she got? And they're telling us that the only way we can mitigate that is by having legalized abortion and more so for children. That is the answer? Seriously? Mrs. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn? I actually like to see when you post your daughter and your husband. I like to see that family. But you're pushing to say, and then you're trying to use this thing to say, oh, but women, they need it because they try to get it anyway. So as Pastor said earlier, so 10 plus 10 is 20. But because some people not getting the concept of 10 plus 10, instead of teaching them properly, we adjust it to say, no, man, 10 plus 10 is 19. Whew. Let me read some more comments here. Hold on, let me check over here. So first, if anybody say anything that I need to go. I just reading comments and running up to half past the hour, guys. So we have 6 minutes remaining. And the two faithful people am I there tonight? Thank you. You here? So Patrick said, commenting on the Gleaner page, Gleaner post, what about dealing with the root cause of teenage pregnancy in the first place? See, that is what I'm talking about. I think that is what governments are called, politicians are called to do. Not to put band-aid on anything. Like her sentence for rape and incest. I think we are going about this abortion thing from the wrong end. Why not deal with education and awareness? If our people know that this man can get this schoolgirl pregnant and all he has to do is fork out the money, which is $40,000, to pay for the legal abortion because her parents / police will never know, careless sex will continue. CAPRI might as well call for the end of what is now known as the age of consent. Free up the thing, man. All right. So I was saying nobody else take it up, but see, sentiments that I expressed before. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And that is the exact scenario that came to my mind. So me, I'll be 41 in 2 months' time. So me now have one like a 14-year-old, which will never happen. And guess what? Me tell her, I said, me no like you condom, blah, 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 whatever. So me have sex with her and she get pregnant. And me, I said, blow, but me know why your mother know because she would have killed me or you, whichever one. Because that's what mothers tell them daughters, which I think we just need to move away from that foolishness. Oh, if you breed me, I'll kill you. No. And then when you go to 6-week clinic, you have up the pitney more than even the pitney herself having up her own pitney. Oh, I'm a proud grandmother. All the shame gone now. You feel good. Say, yeah. No. You're not gonna kill your daughter, so don't tell her no foolishness. But if you breed me, I'm gonna kill you. And this man, all him have to say is this, as Patrick said, just fork out the money. And guess what? It's been allowed. Fork out the money, give the girl, and she go do her abortion, and mommy no know, daddy no know, police no know, and everything good. TC Mobe said, these demons of hell are determined to work overtime to pull every stroke they can to cult black population. Wow. Her_1 says they might as well make it legal for minors to have weapons to shoot persons who are trying to attack them. Oh wait, minors are already in possession of weapons and look at the end results. The reality is that they are not yet mature in terms of how to use the responsibility. Unfortunately, many of the responsible adults in society do not appear to be sufficiently mature enough. Whoever is pushing this nonsensical agenda is trying to muddy the waters, to confuse the issues and distract from the key points. Ultimately, persons need to recognize the value of life, whether the life of unborn babies, children, and adolescents, in bracket male or female, and adults, male and females, are like that. So, I'm encouraged to know that there are level-headed people who not just run with it, because there's another crave that I see happening, If certain people say something or tweet something, everybody run with it, like you can't think for yourself. And I realized there's a new norm that everything that we grew up, so something as simple as, I see Facebook actually said this before coming on. Let me read this to you, people. Let me read this to you. I was shocked. This is one of the reasons Facebook blocked me. It says you can't post or comment for 24 hours. This is because I wonder if that is 24 hours plus the 3 days what they give me. This is because you previously posted something that didn't follow our community standard. You also won't be able to go live for an M of 0 hours here. So this post goes against our standard and hate speech and inferior, so no one else can see it. Now I'm going to read it and won't edit it out a word out of it. I'm going to read exactly. I'm going to read exactly what I wrote. I said, Tina Chin, a key that opens many locks is a master key. A lock that many keys can open is no good. Women are fooling themselves and celebrating whole life and calling it all sorts of names like liberated, emancipated. Well, I guess prostitutes should get way more respect since taking many cock is being liberated. So Facebook say no, that is against them standard. That is against them standard. So they don't want me encourage, young women and thing to say, listen, no, have some respect for your body. Don't just go around. I was having this discussion with somebody the other day and them say, this is a wide-blown thing now where even as young as 17, 18-year-olds are saying, listen, I don't need to be committed to have sex. I can just have sex whenever I want to have sex because it's my body. I'm free to do whatever I want to do. No, with the top line that this whole thing to say, you can go and access abortion anytime you want. Unless it's a problem that we are in. Trouble dead, as them would have said. 10:30 it is, how much more comments there? So, well, and a whole heap of comment. No, 2 more. May I read all of my comment them? Or the people them comment. Max say, is statutory rape still a crime? I am not against adults making reproductive decision. However, only the most deplorable or invaluable individuals would advocate for minors to be able to access abortions without the knowledge and consent of their parents. They should only be very limited exception. And talk to any police, they will tell you this. Did you know that if a under 18 go and have a child, for her to get care or whatever from all the Jamaica health system set up, the mother still have to sign for her? Although she is now a mother, but the law still cover that she's still under the authority of the mother, even though she's now a mother herself. Check the law. So I like that question. Miles says, I would love to know what the people at CAPRI were high on when they fixed their mouth to utter stupidity like this out loud. The logic of giving minors access to abortions without parental consent makes no sense from any sane or logical point of view. And you hear it was a doctor. People cuss me out and say me a dunce, and me uneducated, and me blah blah. Me sure none of hear them rubbish that come out of my mouth. A doctor is the mouthpiece for CAPRI that stated this on the webinar they had to say yes, it's time that we give minors the right to go and abort babies without the pregnancy, without the knowledge or the consent of their parents. The logic of giving minors access to abortion without parental consent makes no sense from any sane or logical point of view. Again, I will say that unless rape or health issues are proven, they should tread lightly when it comes to the matter of abortion. Wisdom 40 say, women and the youths in particular should not be encouraged to carry out abortions, especially without the knowledge of their parents. You can imagine your pitney sick. Come on, me no sick in the bed all day, 2, 3, 4 days, you know, have a clue what going on. You know what they're going to tell you? No. If it is done safely, then that wouldn't be a problem. No, lie. Anyway, I believe that to be a successful nation, doesn't mean that we have to copy everything the first world countries advocate for. If he says some money running, so well, European Union is behind CAPRI findings. So that is not just an assumption. The person who is pushing this narrative is selfish and only want to remain relevant. Some years ago, a lady confided in me that when she found out that she was again pregnant with her 3rd child, she decided to abort so she went, that is what is there about the baby, I think. So she went to see her doctor about the matter. He advised her not to and instead encouraged her to continue with her pregnancy. And it turns out it was a son who turned out to be very brilliant, attended UWI and other top university abroad. Today, he is a successful structural engineer with his own great family. Good story. Chapter 1 says, minors need support and guidance in helping them to make productive choice long before water warm. Minors should show the way forward and encouraged to be hardworking, disciplined, resourceful, respectful, and focused. Remind them as often as possible. That for them they are come, so there is no need for run down life. Throughout my more than 10 years of involvement with a particular program, only 3 young ladies ended up with unwanted pregnancy. And incidentally, after they drop out, more than half could be considered poor and dirt poor. But they are often told to not worry so much about where they came from, but instead focus on where you are going. It's sweet me, you see, when I can turn in and watch them on TV. Mash up. Yeah. Well, just start the thing them say. Yeah, some people go through some stuff. Now he's watching them on TV. Let me say thank you very much for joining me. I know this is a very touchy topic, but I realize that people who should be more silent are the loudest now. So this is one of them topic what me do where you can have people bashing me when them see it, if and when, and say men should stay out of women homes and do what they want to do, including our children, including our little girl. That is it for tonight. Again, let me say thanks to Pastor Moore for being my guest. I always enjoy reasoning with you, and I like the fact that you bring the tenants to the table. You bring the words and can match up. Isaiah 58 verse 1. That is it. I remember I'm gonna look it up, but yeah, we can't keep silent. Thanks for those of you who join, and enjoy the rest of your night. If you can be good, please be careful.